He's pointing a gun at literally everybody. So, we're going to get into the Alaska shooting first. We have a shooting outside Gaslight Bar in Anchorage, Alaska. So, on July 20th, a shootout occurred in downtown Anchorage outside the Gaslight Bar at 4th Avenue. It's across the street from the Anchorage Police Department, which I find kind of hilarious because the fact that this happened right outside the police department and it still took as long as it did for the cops to show up in the video I'm going to show you guys is a little mind-boggling. But so let's see. The Alaska Landmine, this publication, they got security footage and they stitched it together to show like a full timeline of everything that happened. We're not going to watch the entire thing because it's like 10 minutes long. Also, it's quite boring after, you know, all the action happens. So I will be like jumping around. But essentially, this footage shows two masked guys that walk up to the bar, which they never go inside of. Several women walking behind them. Not long, fight breaks out between two women. Then the two masked men get into an altercation with a security guard. One pulls out a pistol and starts shooting at the security guard. The security guard gets shot in the hand. Now, in the video, it looks like he gets shot in the chest. But another guard was hit by several bullets. Both of them, thankfully, survived, so that's good. Another security guard, who is clearly aware something was about to go down, man, opens the trunk of his car and pulls out a rifle, which I don't know what the security guard laws are in Anchorage, but there seems to be. They're better than here in Texas. He was held by police, obviously, for questioning, but then they released him because, I mean, once you guys see this video, it'll be clear. It says soon after the shootout, police arrive on scene amid the melee. It wasn't that fast. The other guy that went with the first original masked man that walked up with the shooter can be seen walking past him after the police show up. So we're going to scroll down. We're going to look at this video. This is the unedited footage, and you can see there's a huge group of people just kind of milling about here. These two guys, the only guys with masks, with hoods on. Everybody else is in like summertime clothes. They're all just chilling. But these guys walk up. I don't know about you, but when I first watched this video, they were the two that I assumed that this was going to happen with. And what do you know? So in today's day and age, with COVID having been long past, okay? If anybody is walking around with a hood and mask on, that's a problem, okay? That's no bueno. Something bad is about to happen if that's happening. So you can see here that a fight starts to break out. Security starts to get involved here. I don't think that this initial fight has anything to do with the fight that happens later on. It could, but I don't know because this happens and the masked guys aren't anywhere to be seen currently. They're just off screen, I think it looks like. Now, you can see in this other, let me see if I can pause it. The security guard steps in to kind of break up the fight. Now, I couldn't tell if that was the same fight that was happening from before. Maybe it was. And then the hooded guy there gets involved. One of them, not both. One of them is here. It's the guy in the mostly white with like the black or bluish top portion of that hoodie. And then let me see if it shows it. It's hard to see from this angle. But yeah, pulls out a gun, shoots him when the security guard tries to stop what's going on. But here's this next angle is absolutely the best angle that we have, okay? This is the best angle. This security guard, I have to say, his ability to read the situation and immediately hop into action is fantastic. Watch the security guard pull this rifle out of the trunk of this white car. Dude just knows. And just springs into action, bro. What I don't understand is this guy... Let me back it up just a little bit. Bro in the blue has zero survival instincts. This guy have zero survival instincts whatsoever. Dude is just complete, like, just shooting is occurring over here. He's like, that's the inconvenience, man. I'm just trying to eat my food. These people are fighting. They're shooting. Why? Why is this happening? Like, no survival instincts. It's not until a gun is pointed in his direction that he's like, oh, maybe I should leave now. It's hilarious. But, like, just so I hate that I can't pause it, but I'm going to try and, like, point it out real quick. This security guard right here that I really hate that they do this. It's not on YouTube anymore because the raw footage, if you're not talking over it or editing it in any way, they'll take it down for like content BS. But as long as you're like doing what I'm doing, it's fine. So this security guard here pulls out full-on rifle. Now, he takes this guy out. The thing that strikes me, though, is, okay, in Texas, right, because I used to be a bodyguard, so I know the Texas security guard laws. In Texas, you have to get certified on any of the weapons you're going to carry, whether it be pepper spray, baton, and firearms, but each firearm has a different classification and, I guess, endorsement for your license. So if you are going to be doing pistol, you have to get qualified for the pistol. If you have a shotgun, you have to get qualified for the shotgun. Here's the thing. In Texas, at least, there is no rifle qualification. Now, some people that I worked with, they decided to go into the gray area a little bit and be like, let me carry an AR pistol. But the thing is the way the law was written, it seems, it's not explicitly stated, but it seems like it's talking about the calibers, not the actual platform itself. So I never did that because I didn't want to get in trouble. In Alaska, though, I don't know what their laws are. And I'm wondering whether or not he's legally able to carry that rifle, or if it's the same as here, where the reason that he staged it in his car like that is because he wasn't able to carry it. And so what he did was he staged it in the car and then pulled it out when something was happening. Because that, I feel like, is a way to kind of get around it. You can't carry it, but if something happens and you're able to access it, different story. It's what I think under the law, it's considered like immediate necessity, which is how, which is the same law that actually sometimes allows felons to utilize firearms or weapons that they're not legally allowed to have to protect themselves and not go to jail for it. It's because they're allowed, because of immediate necessity, to access it and utilize it. Yeah, so we're gonna keep going. This guy just walked. I mean, look at the guy just walked right by. He almost got blasted. Like the security guard, I will say, very good at keeping, things from hitting him, but just barely. But the muzzle awareness was not the best just then. I mean, he pointed it at the guy in gray. Shouldn't have done that. Then the other thing I want to talk about is this guy. This guy that shows up. What is this guy doing? What is this other security guard right here? What is he doing? Like, I don't understand. He's pointing a gun at literally everybody. Don't do that, okay? Don't do that. That is one surefire way when you are under stress to accidentally shoot somebody you shouldn't. Because, like, look at this. The shooting is over. Everything is done. Okay? And he comes in here hot as hell and is like, I'm going to point a gun at everybody because I need to secure the area. The shooting is over. The incident is over. Yes, okay, you can look around and be like, okay, you know what? I need to make sure there's no other problematic people. There's nothing else happening. But he had he had worse muzzle awareness than the guy with the rifle. At least the guy with the rifle, I can somewhat excuse it and be like, he just got in a shootout, okay? And, you know, his muzzle was still pointed down and swept the guy's feet, not his torso. Still, would I have liked for him to avert the muzzle? Yes. But he didn't, like, it wasn't an active, like, I'm going to sweep everybody thing. This guy comes in there and he's Call of Dutying that crap so hard, pointing his gun at everybody. Like, I have no problem with him having the gun out. What I have a problem with is the fact that he's got it in like a low ready but not pointed down position. I would have preferred him to have it in sole position. So, you know, from here, you tuck it here and you look around, assess the situation, and present if you need to. But that's just me. Now, from here, it's been about, what, like maybe 10 seconds? Let's see how long it takes after the guy goes down for the cops to show up. Because it's about, what is this? 2 minutes, 30 seconds. So, takes him down. We've got, mind you, this is happening right across the street, supposedly, from the police department. Okay? So, I'm wondering exactly how long this took for the cops to show up. So, one security guard, you can see in the back behind that, I think that's a dump or a trash can or something. I don't know exactly what that is. It looks like either a newspaper stand or a trash can. He went down. I don't know if he's the guard that got shot in the hand or if he's the guard that had other injuries, because they didn't specify what the other injuries were. So, not sure. But he's definitely down, injured. Thankfully, all the guards, you know. Okay, so cops show up right here. Where is that? Okay, 45 seconds. That's not super bad reaction time. 45 seconds, not too bad. But still, that's from when the guy went down. It was over a minute between the time that the first shots went off to the time the cops showed up. Now, how does this all tie in to self-defense? Well, first and foremost, all of that. 2 guards were shot, bad guy was shot, and the other bad guy got away in less than a minute. Typical self-defense scenarios happen in about 5 to 10 seconds. This one took a little bit longer because the secondary guard had to get in the fight. The first guard went down. So about, what was that, 25 seconds was the entire thing. You can't rely on the police. It took them over a minute to get there, and the entire thing was done in that amount of time. So you have to rely on yourself, right? So now, obviously, this area has problems, which is why they have so many armed guards. And in this scenario, having a gun to protect yourself may have not necessarily been the right answer, simply because you could have been mistaken for a bad guy. Because these guards, they're gonna just deal with whoever has a gun and is not wearing a security jacket, right? Same thing can happen with cops, though. If you defend against, say, a mass shooting in a mall or whatever, and the cops show up and you're still holding your gun, you could also be shot. It's happened before. I still don't think that that's an argument as to why nobody should have guns, because let's remove the guards from this scenario and say that there weren't any, or there were minimal guards, unarmed guards, something like that. Unarmed guards, I'll tell you right now, are not going to help. They're going to run away like just about everybody else, because what are they going to do? So, as far as this scenario, if we remove the guards, how do you get out of this situation? You need to have a gun and protect yourself. It's that simple, especially considering how fast and violent these type of interactions can happen, right? The typical amount of time it takes is between 5 and 10 seconds for the entire thing to be done when it's a one-on-one scenario. Now, this involved more than one person, but if it's just you against, let's say, a mugger or something, 5 to 10 seconds is how long it's going to happen. Do you think you have time to call for help? Do you have time to wait? Do you have time to do anything like that? No, you don't. You have to act immediately in your self-interest and or for your family next to you, or your friends in this case, if you're out at a bar with friends. Now, of course, the reason that there's a lot of security, I don't know what the laws are in Alaska, but here in Texas, you can't be drinking. I shouldn't say you can't be drinking. You cannot be in a bar with a gun because we have 51% laws. So if a location makes more than 51% of their on-site for consumption alcohol sales is 51% or more of their profits, then you can't carry a gun in there. If it's less than that, for instance, like a restaurant or something, then I believe it's like, it used to be the blue sign. Now it's governed under 30.05, I want to say, the trespass stuff. So now, generally speaking in Texas, you can't carry a gun if you're like overly intoxicated, but there's no law against having a drink while also carrying a gun. So as long as you're not like massively drunk or tipsy and you can still, use your faculties, then you can still carry. And this also doesn't apply, I don't think, to private, like if you're at home or whatever. But in public, generally speaking, you can't. I'm assuming they have similar laws in Anchorage, and so you probably can't carry a gun. So I would say just be mindful of where you are, what you're doing, and all of that, because it's I would suggest carrying something other than a gun. Like in Texas, you can carry a knife into a bar. You can carry under a certain number. I think it's like under 3 inches. You can carry pepper spray. Like there's other things that you could do. Would any of that have helped here? I think possibly. The guy got into a fight prior to shots being fired. So you figure if you had time, if the guy was getting aggressive with you and you felt you needed to go hands on, you could have sprayed him in the face with the pepper spray, and he may have still pulled out a gun, start shooting, but he may have not been able to accurately hit anything. So anyway, so that is the Anchorage shooting.